Hi, it's Fran here for PC Monitors, and today I'll be taking a look at the OSD, on-screen display menu system, of the Philips BDM4065UC. The OSD is controlled by a small joystick at the rear of the monitor towards the right. In theory, this makes it easy to cycle through the menu options, but it's quite a stretch due to the size of the monitor. If you push this to the left, then you can select one of the Smart Image presets. If you push this up, then you can activate the PIP picture-in-picture and the PBP picture-by-picture. The PBP option allows you to display up to 4 different image sources simultaneously. Moving the joystick down allows you to change the input used for the audio of the monitor. And finally, moving the joystick to the right brings up the main menu. The main menu is split into 8 different sections. The first section is Input, allowing you to select the input source used by the monitor. The second section is Picture, allowing you to change various key image attributes. At the top of this menu there is a picture format option, which allows you to select how the monitor scales non-native resolutions of the monitor. I will now change the monitor from UHD to Full HD to show these options. The default option is widescreen. Here the monitor uses an interpolation process to display the non-native resolution using all of its pixels, as explored in the scaling and interpolation section. This creates a softer image when displaying that resolution natively on a monitor of a similar size. The second option is only designed for displaying resolutions in a 4:3 aspect ratio. For 16:9 resolutions like this, things just looked a little squashed with this setting. The final option is 1:1, a pixel mapping option, which means that the monitor only uses the pixels required for the selected resolution. It is undistorted but displayed with a black border around it. The image fills a 19.5-inch diagonal space on this monitor in the Full HD resolution. Note that the monitor does not support 1:1 pixel mapping through the OSD for the WQHD resolution, which is 2560 by 1440, and will automatically fill the screen even if 1:1 is selected. You can get your GPU to handle the scaling instead if you want the 1:1 pixel mapping. This will give you an image filling a 26-inch diagonal space. The remaining options on the picture menu include brightness, contrast and sharpness. Brightness and contrast is controlled in increments of 1 and sharpness in increments of 5. There is a smart response setting which you should really leave off, as explored in the review, and also a smart contrast, dynamic contrast setting, which is also looked at in the review. You can select one of 5 gamma settings and enable or disable pixel orbiting. The setting is designed to reduce the likelihood of burn-in image retention occurring. We didn't notice any issue by leaving this set to its default setting on, so we left it on. We didn't experience any burn-in either. There is also an overscan setting which is greyed out for us, as it isn't applicable when connected to a PC. The next section allows you to alter the PBP-PIP settings which were mentioned earlier. There is then an audio section which allows you to change the volume of the integrative speakers or speakers connected to the 3.5mm jack. There is a colour menu which allows you to select a predefined colour temperature. Select the sRGB presets, or select User Define, which allows you to manually configure the red, green and blue colour channels. Next, There is Language menu, which allows you to change the language that the OSD is displayed in. There is then the OSD Settings menu, which allows you to change how the OSD is displayed. You can change its horizontal and vertical position, turn on transparency, and change how long the OSD is displayed after the last button press before it disappears. There is also a user key, which allows you to change what happens if you move the joystick down before entering the main menu. You can only select a couple of settings here, so it's really quite limited. Finally, there is a setup menu. Half of this is greyed out unless you are using an analog connection VGA, as such adjustments are handled automatically for digital connections. The resolution notification gives you a little message to remind you of optimal native resolution of the monitor if you are running at a lower resolution. You can enable the RS232 serial port of the monitor, which is not something most users will need to do. You can change the DisplayPort revision used, which you must set to 1.2 to enable 60 Hz at the UHD resolution, but can set to 1.1 for compatibility with older systems. The last setting here allows you to reset everything to the factory defaults. And there is a simple information section which tells you the model of the monitor, serial number, resolution, and refresh rate. This has been Fran for PC Monitors, and if you would like the full review, please go and check it out at pcmonitors.info.